everyone, and thanks for joining us for Italy Awakens Week. My name is Marije from Tiqets, and I'm very happy to welcome you to this virtual tour, which is all about discovering some of Rome's historical secrets during the Trevi Underground Tour. Now, this virtual experience is part of the Tiqets Awakening Weeks, a 6-week celebration of the reopening of over 100 museums and attractions in 6 countries around the world. And these venues have worked day and night to reimagine their experiences and introduce new hygiene measures to make it safe for you to visit again. And now these venues are rolling out the welcome mat with these online experiences for those who aren't able or willing to travel yet, but still want to experience and reawaken cultural institutions worldwide. Now, we will start the Trevi Underground experience very soon now, but as people are still joining us, I will kick us off by sharing some logistical information about what to expect and how to use the Zoom. If you have any questions for the presenter, you can submit them through the Q&A button at the bottom in the center of the Zoom window. And you will have the opportunity to ask questions at the end of the presentation as well. So please feel free to send them through, and we will try to answer as many as possible at the end of the session. And you can also vote for your favorite ones by giving a thumbs up so that we make sure to ask the best questions first. This is a Zoom webinar, so your camera will not be on, but you can use the chat to communicate with fellow attendees and the speakers, and for instance, share where you're joining us from or leave reactions during the sessions by using the chat to message all panelists and attendees. If you have any technical difficulties, use the chat to send a message to all panelists, and we will try to solve the problem as soon as possible. And if you have trouble with your audio from your end, usually by leaving and rejoining the meeting, this problem will be fixed as soon as possible. And then finally, this presentation will be recorded, and we will be sending the recording to all registrants in the coming weeks. And now, without further ado, I'm happy to hand over to our host for this virtual experience, Aurora. And together we are descending almost 9 meters beneath Rome and see the archaeological evidence of great events that characterize the great city's history. So Aurora, when you're ready, the floor is yours.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the archaeological site of Vicus Caprarius. I thank you for being here on my behalf and on behalf of my colleague, Lorenzo. We are nearby the Trevi Fountain. This is an archaeological underground area that was found in 1999 after the renovation work of the movie theater Trevi. You can actually see the movie theater Trevi in front of you. That used to be an historical theater in the 20s that became a movie theater after the war. In the 85, it was completely abandoned, and the Cremonini Group, which is a company group in Italy, and its owner, Mr. Luigi Cremonini, decided to buy the cinema with a new project to make a new cinema together with a modern restaurant. So they started the excavation work in 1999, and as soon as they start to dig, as it happens almost all the time in Rome, they found something underneath the cinema. So they brought to light, thanks to the financing and also this amazing work between the public and the private, they could brought to light this archaeological site, which is small yet very interesting. We are 9 meters below the surface of modern Rome. And the archaeological site of Vicus Caprarius was opened in 2001 after 3 years of excavation. What for us is very important, especially in this moment, to be here since everything that has happened. And you see me now with a mask because we have to open again, and we were happy and thrilled to open again, but now with all the due rules and procedure. So I hope you can still see me and hear me even with the mask on. We really care about safety first, so you can enjoy your experience underground Rome in total safety. We have time slots, for visiting, and we also recommend and oblige for social distancing and mask on. But without further ado, we will now start talk a little bit about what we have here and what they discover in 3 years of excavation. So we have the ruins of an apartment which is strictly connected to the Trevi Fountain that is actually nearby here. We are few steps away from one of the most important fountains of the world, which is known worldwide. And this is the water that characterized both the Trevi Fountain and also the archaeological site of Vicus Caprarius, because it is the same water that is still flowing from more than 2,000 years old. So we are strictly connected with the history of the fountain, because this is the same aqueduct, and the aqueduct is the main reason of why the Trevi Fountain was built. We will now start a little bit of our tour by talking a little bit more about the water and the building found here. This area is really interesting. We have two different levels. So we will talk first about the Imperial Age ruins found here. But as we walk right now, we actually on a medieval settlement. We are walking on the street level during the Middle Ages. And what you see behind me, also around me, are the ruins of a medieval settlement built on top of the old Roman Imperial Age. So Rome is like a cake. We have different layers of the city. And here you can actually see all of them, two of the most important ones. So now we will walk and see part of our insula. An insula was a common type of block of flats meant for housing poor people. The insula was about three floors, and this is probably one of the oldest insula ever found so far, and it's dated right after, in the second half of the 1st century. The insula had many floors and many flats for all the poor people to live in. And the Vicus Caprarius Insula also is particular because it has water in there. So for example, we see the water that is the same water from the aqueduct Virgo that is still floating inside our structure. So it's filtering through the ancient wall of this insula. The insula was transformed, went through many transformations, and was transformed into a domus in the 4th century. So from a humble, small apartment, it became a luxurious residence for a noble family. And the first thing the noble and rich family did was to embellish the insula with frescoes and marble, especially marble. For example, you see the staircase in front of you. They were covered with marble slabs because marble symbolized wealthiness. And now we will walk back and we will talk more about the water. The water is essential to Rome, and it was essential to the city at the time, because this insula and domus could have water. They actually had provide a hydraulic system through one of the water tanks that we are now going to see that could supply water. And also for our smaller and younger visitors, we also have prepared a small video, or a video for a visiting, especially meant for youngsters, which is both actually in Italian and also in English. So we translated them in 2 languages, and we want to make it also a little book, so everyone could experience the same thing we are doing right now. So now we walk back in time, since we are on medieval, and we go deeper now in time. And we go back to our Castellum Aquae. A Castellum Aquae was a water tank. And this is the water tank of the Aqueduct Virgo, the only water tank found so far. According to literary sources, there were 18 Castellum Aquae along the route of the Aqua Virgo, but this is the one we found so far. And you can see the water, it's magnificent, and its sound that is still flowing. And the Aqua Virgo is essential. It's one out of the 11 aqueducts that the Romans built that is still worked today. It was built in 19 BC by Agrippa to supply water to the baths of Agrippa, which were located behind the Pantheon. And then, of course, it served the city. And especially in this area, it arrived in one of these Castellum Aquae, and from here, through lead pipes, it went out to the city. Because the Roman believed that water was meant for everyone. It has to be one of the source of strength of the Roman Empire. The Aqueduct Virgo is 22 kilometers long. It originated southeast of Rome in a place called Salone, and it mostly ran underground. Its path is considered a marvel of hydraulic engineering since it still works today and is still supplying water. Now the ending part is the Trevi Fountain. At that time, for the Castellum Aquae, it served as distribution water for everyone. Now it is just for monumental fountains, such as, of course, the Trevi Fountain, Fontana della Barcaccia in Piazza di Spagna, and Fontana dei Quattro Fiumi in Piazza Navona. So now you can drink the water from the Aqua Virgo, but you can still look at it. And you can still look at how crystal clear the water actually is, because it gets its name Virgo from the pureness of the water. And there's also a legend that said that a virgin showed the thirsty Roman soldier about the spring source of the Aqua Virgo. So it was a marvel, a wonder example of what the Romans were capable of doing in the 7th century. And the aqueduct has been working even after it was destroyed when the Roman Empire fell. So it was built again, and just many centuries later on, they decided to honor the aqueduct by building the Trevi Fountain. The Trevi Fountain is basically the majestic expression of the Aqueduct Virgo. Now we will go and look at our little antiquarium. We found lots of interesting objects, everyday objects from all the ages. So we have all them displayed down here. Our first part is dedicated to objects that were found inside the medieval structure. So this is part of how we reconstruct the lives of our ancestors from the 15th until the 17th century. And you know, they found them on top of the other, chronologically on top of the other. So this is really a witnesses of how the city has grown through the century. With these two heads, we go inside the part of the decoration of the domus. This is the head probably of Alessandro Helios. We don't know that for sure, but we are kind of 99% sure. And it was probably one of the decoration on a sarcophagus in a domus. One little thing, it's really interesting. From here, we actually are on top of where the water is still flowing. So the aqueduct It's running somewhere now, going to the Trevi Fountain, and from there, it just fills our tank with water. And it's amazing to see this aqueduct that is still now giving us this beautiful, spectacular flowing of water. The paths of water that never stop, even with more than 2,000 years old. So it's unbelievable. And imagine this water tank is also plastered with a material that make it waterproof, because the Roman cared about the aqueduct and maintaining the aqueduct, and that's why it still works today, because the maintaining was excellent. From here, we are in the other part of our little antiquarium, which is really interesting. At this area, we are 9 meters below the surface. This is the lowest point in our area. The Trevi Fountain is just around here, so we are nearby there. And this is part of our decoration. We have some amphoras that were meant for transported olive oil, and they were found all in this good shape. They were found all intact like this. And also other decoration. And one of the things that excited me the most, and it's really emotional for us to think about, it's our little treasure, which maybe at the time was not a treasure that much, but for us now it has a worthless value. Those are 800 little coins, and they were called nummi. And these nummi had almost no value at the time, so they were worthless in a way. We probably think they were the tip given to somebody who was working inside our domus. And why is it important? Because it tells us the way these coins were found, all hidden inside the walls of our area, tell us that probably these people had to flee really quick when the Roman Empire fell. So when the barbarians, the Vandals came, they had to flee and leave all their treasure behind. And maybe this person hoped to come back to retrieve them, but he never did. So now we are keeping his treasure with us. Last but not least, the most beautiful, amazing view of our cavedium, so of our insula. So this was part of a corridor called cavedium that, when the insula was transformed into a domus, became a little toilet. So it became a service toilet for the person that were working inside this building. For example, they built a little wall in front of you to keep privacy, and behind the wall there is still a basin with the original pipe that the archaeologists found inside that. Because also the people living here could have their own supply of private water. So not only the public water from the Castellum Aqueduct to the fountain, but also person who had the permission and privilege to have private water inside their own houses, just as we do nowadays. And if we think the domus is the 4th century, it's amazing and unbelievable to think about that. Our last section that is still concludes our tour, and they are part of the decoration and lots of interesting objects from marble and everywhere. And also all the coins, for example, also an assay from Emperor Claudius. So it tells us different ages, different times. So the history of the Vicus Caprarius is still, and it was entangled in different area and different period of time, from the 1st century to the 4th century. And even now with the Trevi Fountain and the place it is now, is still giving us beautiful memories and treasure, because the history of this place will never stop. Maybe in 100 years we will find something more about it. And that's my wish for the future. I thank you for your attention. And now if you can give us 30 seconds to go upstairs again to surface, from the surface, I will ask you, will answer all your questions.
Thank you, Aurora. So I will give you some time to walk to basically the spot where you want to do the Q&A. It's wonderful to see the reactions and the comments in the chat that people have been there. People didn't know about the whole underground side. Okay. And of course, many people having like really sweet memories about them visiting the Trevi Fountain. Okay. So we're gonna wait until Aurora is back on the screen again.
Yes, we are back on the surface.
Okay, yes, there you
Hi.
are.
Yes.
So we have lots of interesting questions for you. Thank you for this wonderful tour. First of all, so let us start. When did the underground area of the Trevi Fountain open?
In 2004.
Short and sweet.
Yeah, it lasted 3 years of excavation, and then it was officially open in 2004, but then the work didn't stop because after many years, the fountain reached our area. So we've been open it's pretty recent compared to other monuments in Rome, but still really interesting, not less interesting. And this place is evolving because the cinema is still here and it wasn't at the time. So now we open in a new way, and so hopefully it will continue to give us emotion like we did. For example, we found something that little brick on the stamp recently compared to when the area was open. So we keep on finding interesting stuff in this little area.
So you keep exploring the whole underground. So that's basically a project that is still going on.
Yeah.
And how long, I mean, when did they start to finding out about the whole underground surveys? When did they first discover this?
Around 1999. So when they bought the cinema back in the 90s, and then when they actually decided for the project for the new cinema. So officially the work started in 1999, but as I told you, they had immediately in that time, they had to stop because as soon as they dig, they found the area. So the cinema, the original project for the cinema was deeply modified. And from 1999, they abandoned the idea of a new cinema, and they just focused on bringing back to life this place from 1999 to 2001.
Okay. And then one person wants to know, are there other hidden gems like the underground in Rome?
Well, I guess all of Rome, it's full of hidden gems. So you just have to explore that by accident, as we do, as it happened for us. Like you just walk and you find amazing things everywhere. Yeah. But yeah, they are.
Oh, okay.
I think that's part of the thrilling experience of Rome. People have been here a lot of time, they see the same thing, but when you walk back many years and you keep coming back to Rome, you find hidden gems like this.
Oh, very interesting. And then somebody wants to know, was this a source of drinking water in Roman times, or what did they use the water for?
They used the water for everything, for drinking mostly. And Rome was full of little fountains all around the neighborhood. So the people had water for, of course, for drinking, but Rome was important also for public toilets and for therma. You probably have heard of thermal, and water in Rome was essential. It was public. Also, the slave could actually bathe and could actually have access to water. So that's why when one of the strengths of the Roman Empire was also how the water was really important. In a way, when the other population knew about it, they cut off actually the aqueduct to cut off the supply of water. And this way also they weakened the city.
Okay. A question from Virginia. Is the water being cleaned or in some way, or does it flow like that from the nature?
No, it's from the nature. It's just like this. It hasn't been touched in century. No, it's just like this. And that's why it's amazing. We have like they made some scientific research, and the water is so clear. It has no dirty things in there. It just flow like this.
Oh, wow.
And also because the aqueduct is being kept really clean, so that's why the water still flows so pure.
Okay. A question from Daniela. I've heard that this is the only ancient aqueduct that still works in Roma. Is that true?
Yes. Of course, part of the aqueduct are built again because they were destroyed, but its main route is the same. For example, the gradient of the aqueduct that worked just with gravity is still the same as it worked 2,000 years ago. So in Rome, you will see part of arch that belong to the oldest aqueduct, but this is one of the only that still, of course, part of it are built again, but it still works today. Still the same water source, and the ending part is the Trevi Fountain. It was for centuries.
Okay. And then Mark would like to know how much water is in the foundation?
We don't know that. That's an interesting question. How much water there is in the foundation? I don't know. I think a lot of it. I think water is still flowing continually every day for years. So it's been like more than 20 years that the area opened and the water was still there. So I guess like liters and liters of water every day.
Okay, and then somebody wants to know, how do I get to the underground of the Trevi?
To answer the last question, I forgot to say that the water tank could contain, when it was full, could contain 150,000 liters of water.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
that's a lot.
That's full, just 1/3. So do the math.
Yeah. Okay. And then I'm not sure if you heard the question, but
no, sorry.
Somebody would like to know, how do you get to the underground of the Trevi? So where you're at.
Okay, we are from the Trevi Fountain. We are just like 10 meters away, 20 meters away. We are really close. So from the Trevi Fountain, you take Via di San Vincenzo right in front of you, and you turn left. There's a small, narrow vicolo called Vicolo dei Modelli, and we're just around the corner, literally just around the corner of the Trevi Fountain. Vicolo del Puzzarello 25, that's our address. And we are open with all the due safety for the coronavirus, but we are opening and we hope to see you all soon here.
Okay, and then Cristiano would like to know, and she also mentioned, like, this might be a strange question, but what does it smell like in where you are? Is it like neutral, or is it like, you know, sometimes the water, it can be smelly?
No, it's totally pure. Don't worry, it doesn't smell like anything. It's a little bit humid, but nothing that you don't even feel it. You don't even feel it. You just feel it. If I stay here for years and for hours maybe, but it's totally cool. When you come in summer, and it's totally the coolest place on earth.
All right, and then Daniela would like to know the aqueduct, first water fountain.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I think the audio is breaking up there a little bit. Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Yes. Oh, my Daniela would like to know how long the aqueduct is.
About 22 kilometers.
Sorry, how long? I'm sorry.
22 kilometers.
Okay. Yes. Quite a distance.
Yes, it is. Mostly underground.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Why is the Trevi Fountain so important, do you think?
I think because the Trevi Fountain is important because it was the ending part of the aqueduct. So basically, the aqueduct popes have been succeeding in to build a fountain that could honor the aqueduct. So the main reason the Trevi Fountain is there because during the Baroque Renaissance, the aqueduct was still working, and so they wanted a majestic fountain to honor this aqueduct that has been feeding us water for centuries. And so the project for the Trevi Fountain began, and it had quite a story. When you come to Rome, you will have to know more about the history of the Trevi Fountain. But I guess it's because it's majestic. When you walk past by and you look at the Trevi Fountain and it's white and the water is so clear, it's like a symbol of pureness for me. I guess that's why it is really important.
Okay, thank you. And then Jaime would like to know, when the water was, or when it was used as a toilet, didn't that contaminate the water?
No, because they had two pipes. They had two pipes for a public fountain and smaller pipes for a private user. So they were, they were two different pipes. And people, they actually paid fees to have their own supply, their own pipes. They were private. So they could have water just directly inside their own houses. Not contaminate anything, yes.
That makes sense. But you never know back in the days. And what is your favorite part of the ruins under the Trevi Fountain?
Mine, the water.
The water, yeah.
The water, yes.
Yeah.
I love water, and when I walk here and I still hear the water, like I see people, they react like kids when they see water, like, oh, there's water, because nobody actually expect that. And people told me, is there actual water? Yes, there is, and I cannot tell them that. They don't believe me, but there is. It's still like this. For me, it's still amazing.
Yeah. That one we had. Then Lauren would like to know, why is the area lit up with purple lightning?
I guess for atmosphere.
Yeah.
No,
that's how.
Yeah. No, they actually are blue, but when they are inside the water, they turn a little bit purple. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
I should. Yeah. That's an interesting question.
And then somebody would like to know, how were the terracotta oil containers stored for use?
The terracotta, okay, the amphoras we saw downstairs.
Yeah, I think that's what they mean, yeah.
Yeah, they were produced in Africa. They were mostly used for transport olive oil, and olive oil was mostly used for lightning. Yeah. So yeah, they use it for lots of things, but mostly also lightning. So the amphora was meant for liquids, so water, wine, and olive oil.
Okay, interesting. And then Erica would like to know, people are always throwing coins in the fountain, right? So how much money is collected from the fountain each year, you think? And what is it used for?
I think at least 1 million coins. 1 million worth of euro and coins every year, and they actually are given to the charity.
Sorry, to the?
To charity.
Oh, charity, yes.
Yes.
Beautiful, yeah.
Yeah. I think from as far as I know, it was like 3,000 euros per day. As per se. So, yeah.
Okay. And then Nadia would like to know, how is it possible to visit the Trevi Underground? I think you already mentioned what the address is and stuff like that, but maybe you can repeat it for if somebody missed that question. And is it only, can they only visit with a guide, or do you also offer other kinds of services?
No, okay, you can walk inside our area with a guided tour, and also we have an audio guide in 6 languages. So there are different options for all your kind of options, of course.
Okay.
Yes, and you can pre-notation booking is required since our new rules, but we are willing to get in touch with you and try to find the best time for you to visit the area. We are open and we will try to do our best to actually fit your schedule inside the area. Yes.
Okay, and then there is one last question about how much a tour costs. Oh, it's not the last question, but are there costs involved to enter, and how much is it?
The range, it's about from €9 to 20. It depends on your option. It depends either with visiting with guided tour or with audio guide. So yeah, that's around the cost of it.
And then one other question. Let me check. There's somebody asking, like, is it 1 million coins or euros per year, or
1 million euros.
1 million euros per year, because at a certain point they were thinking, like you were saying, 300,000 euro each day. So that's why we're like, ooh, that's a lot of money then. But okay. And then there is one person who is thinking of visiting Italy next year. And we can see that it's required for you, of course, nowadays to wear a mask inside, but it's also mandatory to wear a face mask everywhere in Italy.
Yes. Yeah. You have to wear a face mask everywhere in Italy. For the moment, yes.
Okay. Well, the audio is breaking up from now and then, but actually, this was the last question for tour.
Sorry, I can.
Would like to thank you, the audience, first of all, for joining us for this Tiqets Awakening Week's virtual experience. And as mentioned before, all the recordings of our Awakening Week's virtual experience are being shared, including this one, and this will happen in the coming weeks. And if you're in Italy and you also want to experience Italy Reawakening in person, please, visit the tiqets.com/blog/awakening weeks for more information on all the virtual tours that we still have left in Italy, but also other virtual tours that we will have in the US next week. And then last but not least, I would like to thank Aurora and the rest of the team for arranging this wonderful tour. Thank you again. It was a real pleasure.
Behalf, on your behalf, for everyone. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, and hope to see all of you very soon again.
Thank you again. Thank you for all the attention and for the audience. Thank you.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.